Reds at the San Diego Padres. Back to the update, by the way. We go over to the American League. The Houston Astros taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Right now, that game is 0-0. Baltimore trying to do whatever it can to stay with both Boston and Tampa Bay. The Chicago White Sox at the Cleveland Indians. Right now, the White Sox have a 3-0 lead, 3 runs on 5 hits. The Washington Nationals at the Detroit Tigers. It is 1-0 in favor of the Nationals. That is an interleague play game. The Seattle Mariners at the Boston Red Sox. And here's the way it goes. Seattle got 1 run in the first inning on 2 hits. And then, of course, Boston has just taken the lead 2-1 as they got 2 runs on, of course, an error, which was very costly for Seattle. The Tampa Bay Rays at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tampa Bay, of course, has been the hottest team. They're 20-4. Just hot as they can be in the last 25 games. They're up 2-0 down in St. Petersburg, Florida. We got other action going on. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at the Texas Rangers. Kansas City Royals, who have been pretty impressive this year, even though they're going to need a lot of to catch Cleveland and Detroit in the American League Central, at the Minnesota Twins. And the final matchup will feature the Toronto Blue Jays at the Oakland Athletics. In the NFL, as everybody knows, the New England Patriots have been on ESPN all day, been kind of trying to put everything behind them as far as the Hernandez debacle and the DUI and all the things that are going on. Patriots just trying to focus on getting through this long, harrowing process. The Carolina Panthers general manager says, you know what? I believe Cam Newton will turn this team into a winner. In, of course, NFL, we're just a few weeks away from the preseason. Actually, a Hall of Fame game coming up. And like Jeff said, remember, we got our Fantasy Pro Football Pick'em coming up. Just remember that if you want to have any information, just contact Jeff, and he'll give you all the details, and he'll help you out with that. I'm already signed in as everybody else. Well, not everybody else, but we've got a couple players already in now. For the update for Sports World Radio, I'm Sean Mann. Back to Jeff Escow, host of Sports World Radio.
That update was brought to you by BuyHuntingEquipment.com. For all your hunting equipment, camping gear, fishing gear, and outdoor gear, head on over to BuyHuntingEquipment.com. That's BuyHuntingEquipment.com. All right, welcome back to the show. All right, Sean, I was sitting here looking at the Major League Baseball standings, and in particular the National League. To me, it looks like the Braves, Cardinals, Pirates, Reds, and Dodgers. How bad is that?
That's the way I look at it. And, before we went to break, we're talking about, I want to go back to the Dodgers real quickly. I think Don Mattingly, with what he's had to deal with, remember last month in June, they had that huge fight and brawl with the Diamondbacks. They've really turned it on. And if the Dodgers can stay healthy and keep playing like they are, they could be very tough come the playoffs. LA's looking like a team that has a very good chance to win the National League West. But I can't get ahead of myself, Jeff, because throughout the whole year, the National League West has been nothing but a 500 division.
Well, yeah, basically it is. And Dodgers only got 56 wins compared to Atlanta 61, compared to St. Louis 62, and Pittsburgh 62.
This is a big series coming up against, of course, the Yankees, and of course, there's going to be, it's going to be sold out, and you can expect.
Why do you think it's a big series?
Well, because if the Dodgers want to put a lot of ground on themselves and get ahead in the National League West, they're going to have to do it now, because Arizona's right there, Colorado, you can't rule them out. Although, I don't know, Walt Weiss's Rockies are starting to fade a little bit. They're going to need to start picking up a lot of ground. The Padres and the Giants, they're looking like two teams that are pretty much out of it. And it's so shocking that San Francisco would be this bad, especially a team that just won the World Series last year.
Correct. No, I agree with you, but I don't agree with you about the Dodgers, though.
Well, who do you still think, Jeff? Do you think Arizona will overtake them and win the National League West?
I think Dodgers are going to win that division. Okay, but all they got to do is worry about the people in the division. You know, they know that Arizona's playing Tampa Bay right now, and Tampa Bay is the hottest team in baseball, besides the Dodgers.
Yeah, we'll get to Tampa Bay in a sec. But yeah, the Dodgers, though, big series coming up. And I just love talking it over with you.
Speaking of the Dodgers, they just signed Brian Wilson. So he's going to their training camp for 2 weeks, and then he's going to be up there pitching for him. He's coming off his second Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
So, that could be interesting. So I think they're going to win the West because that's where they're at. But if they want to compete with those other teams, they better get better.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
absolutely.
They'll be out in the first round.
The Dodgers know perfectly well that, it's a big series because, you're in a tight National League West. Arizona is only sitting
2.5 back.
2.5 back.
Mm-hmm.
And this series against the Yankees is going to be packed. They're saying Dodger Stadium expected to be packed because of the history between the two teams. And one thing, every time the Dodgers have hosted the Yankees, I've seen lots of Hollywood celebrities that have gone to the games, and they're either going for the Dodgers or they're either going for the Yankees. So I expect there will be a lot of celebs going to the game tonight and for the next few nights between the Yankees and Dodgers.
Well, it's not really his ankle, Andrew. Albert Pujols' ankle. He's got that I can't pronounce that word. He's got something wrong with it's not his ankle, it's the back of his ankle type. It's phlantitis, something. I can't say it. Fasciopendicitis. How do you say it, Sean?
Oh, tendinitis?
No, not tendinitis. Listen to me. Fascia something or other. I can't.
I can't say it.
Whatchamacallit had it and had to sit out for a while.
I can't remember what his name is.
Whatchamacallit for the Lakers had it and had to sit out for the season. The big Paul Gasol.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he has that same injury. That injury is a pain in the ass, man. Phlantitis, something of who's a what's a.
Yeah.
That's a pain in the ass, that injury.
It is.
So he's going to have it surgery. He'll be out for the rest of the season, which is smart. Come back next year and just perform a lot better. He's got no choice.
And Andrew Browning, thank you so much, buddy, because this is actually the next one I wanted to get to is the American League West. If we could go there from the other West to the next West in the AL. Oakland Athletics. Unbelievable story. You picked Bob Melvin, Jeff. You did a great job of picking him as the AL Manager of the Year for our first half awards. What has happened with Texas? But everybody should really you're talking Tampa Bay playing well. Watch out for the Oakland Athletics, and I'm serious. This team is really hot. They're playing great ball. They're 7-3 in the last 10 games. Texas, if they're going to make any ground, they're going to have to really turn it on. And I'm telling you, Nolan Ryan will not be pleased if Texas does not make it to the playoffs because they're 3-7 in the last 10 and just about lost to the Angels last night. And Jeff, real quickly, the biggest disappointment, I have to tell you, is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. This team was the heavy favorite this year to overtake everyone in the American League. Just hasn't been right. And Browning, I'm so glad you brought up Albert Pujols because he's been a non-factor. And the biggest free agent they got, which was Josh Hamilton, has been a non-factor. My biggest question is, Angels don't make the playoffs. Does Mike Scioscia get fired as manager of the Angels?
No, because I think they bounce back next year. Because Josh Hamilton is still feeling his oats through the way of California and Anaheim. And he's probably going ups and downs and having some problems. Get settled, he'll be fine. Albert Pujols will be back next year. I think they'll be better next year.
I agree. And I don't see Mike Scioscia being on the hot seat because, in my opinion, Scioscia has done a phenomenal job with the Angels. He took them to the World Series in 2002. They beat the Giants in 7 games. He's gotten them to the playoffs. He's got experience. And my question would be, if you got rid of Scioscia, who would Artie Moreno pick as the next manager of the Angels? I don't think the candidates would be very bright.
There's not there.
Pretty much. And Houston, the Astros, a team that goes from the National League over to the American League, is the absolute joke. 35-69, and they are just been bad from day one.
Yep.
But my surprise is the Angels, and I think everybody's surprised by that. But like you said, Jeff, it's like with Hamilton going from Texas to California, you realize it's an adjustment. And of course, I know what it's like when you're kind of, everybody's picking you. Then like all the pressure's on you to do well, and then turns out sometimes when that pressure gets to you, you don't even perform. Look at what happened with the Tigers in 2008. Look at what happened to the Red Sox in 2011. So that's what happens. It's baseball. You know, you're expected to do well, but pretty much sometimes in the American League Central, going to update everybody. The Detroit Tigers, they sit at 59-45. Jeff, they're returning just like what we expected because they are the defending American League champions.
Yeah, they got a couple of really good pitchers on that team.
Verlander, yeah. Max Scherzer.
Right, Verlander and Scherzer. Really good two guys to have on your staff. And they just got Vera as a closer.
That's right. I would say right now, it's like a toss-up, but probably still have to go with the Tigers as the team to beat in the American League. I know you can either agree with me or disagree with me about it, but they're starting to play just as I think I expected them to play and everybody expected them to play. Tough, and with Prince Fielder having a good year and Maglio Ordonez and Miguel Cabrera, watch out. And Cleveland, you got to give credit to Terry Francona for the job he has done, because he's turned the Indians into a team that's got a shot at the playoffs, maybe the division or maybe the wild card. And don't rule out Kansas City. I know they're 51-51, but Ned Yost has kept that team together. They're only sitting 7 games back. The Royals are hanging in. They're going to need to be red hot to be able to catch everybody.
George Brett left, their hitting coach. And you know who else quit as a hitting coach?
Who?
Tino Martinez. He was the hitting coach for the Miami Marlins.
Oh, yeah.
And he left because he was being abusive to his players.
Oh.
How about that? Way to go, Tino. You jackass. What a dumbass. Yeah. You once were a player and you're treating the players like that, you're an idiot. You know? You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah.
You're a freaking idiot. You just don't do that.
Yeah, so that's kind of the way we look at the American League Central, you know, the way the Royals are playing right now. But they're going to need to be red hot. They're going to have, in order for them to stay in contention, they're going to have to really, really play great in the month of August. The question is, can they do it? We'll see. But we all know what happens with the Royals. Every time we expect the Royals to be, this good young team, a team that's got a chance to win a World Series. They haven't done it since 1985, and that was against St. Louis. We'll see what happens. In the American League East, of course, Tampa Bay Rays, they're 63-43. Red Sox are 63-44. Baltimore is 58-48. The Yankees are 55-50, and of course another team that was expected to be really good this year, the Toronto Blue Jays, 48-57.
Yeah.
The AL East.
Let me know when you're done talking baseball.
Okay, and the AL East, the way I look at it, Baltimore, if they lost 2 out of 3 against Boston, and now they're playing tonight against Houston. If they're going to stay in contention, they have got to start winning games now. But right now, the way I look at it, if things hold up, it could be a battle between both Boston and Tampa Bay. And remember, Boston plays Tampa Bay 3 more times in the month of September. And if it stays like this and they battle it out, there you go. That's going to determine who wins the American League East. And I believe that the wild card will come from the American League East. And I believe both Boston and Tampa Bay are both going to make the playoffs. How far they get, time will tell. I don't know. And then we quickly move to the National League East. Jeff, great pick as always. The Atlanta Braves, 61-45. You got to be really impressed with how they played, especially without Chipper Jones, since Jones retired last year.
You said they were going to be bad. I said, what are you, crazy? And I still picked them.
Yeah, I remember that. Back in April, you kind of said, "Oh, come on, Sean. You